All right, ladies and gentlemen, what did we just saw? What did we just witness? Zimbabwe. Yes, Zimbabwe have defeated Australia. Not in a friendly match, not in a warm-up match, not even in a dead rubber. In a very important match in World Cup T20. They defeated mighty Australia. Today, in this live, me, Chinmoy, along with Sanlap, we are going to break down everything. What actually happened, where Australia went wrong, what Zimbabwe did brilliantly, and what this means for the tournament going forward. Because both of us think this is not just an upset. This is one of those matches that changes the whole narratives. If you're joining live, tell us in the chat, is this the biggest upset of the tournament so far? And before diving in, let's set the stage again. We are talking about Australia, five-time ODI world champions, T20 champions, a team packed with experienced players.
Six-time champions, ODI.
Six-time champions. My apologies, six-time champions. A team packed with too many experienced players, power, and pedigree. So, and on the other side, Zimbabwe, a national cricket team which is actually doing quite well for some time, but a team that has been rebuilding for a long time after their golden age. So once there was a Zimbabwe team that we all of us used to fear, but we are seeing glimpses of that Zimbabwe team now. So, Salaf, in today's live, let's break it down. We are getting one after the other interesting matches, brilliant matches, a lot to talk about. Let's talk about this brilliant match that we just had.
So, what should I say? Like, where should I begin from? I think first time, so this is the second time in World T20, Zimbabwe has defeated Australia. First time it happened in 2007. And I think overall, third time they have defeated Australia in a World Cup. First time it happened in 1983 World Cup. Second time it happened in 2007 T20, just as I mentioned right now. And this is the third time. And okay, so another 1983 World Cup and 2007 World T20. Who were the champions?
India. So we won both the World Cups, right?
So kind of, I don't know whether it's a pattern or not. If it's a pattern and if this has happened this time, then I don't mind actually. So
Yeah.
brilliant. I am just whatever we saw today. I think in our Premadasa, and that was I think something which was not at all expected. And I think right from the very beginning, Zimbabwe was very clinical. So Zimbabwe batted first. And as we know that since it's a, our Premadasa is a very, huge ground and it's not very easy to clear the ropes. So they were more than, hitting the boundaries. They were more interested in taking the singles and couples. They got a very good start from the power play, especially from their wicketkeeper batsman Muramani. So Muramani and Bennett, they opened. Bennett, though, was a little bit shaky and he was a little bit slow with the beginning in the power play. But Muramani actually compensated his slow game. And finally, they came up with a decent power play score. Later on, after Muramani got dismissed, Ian Ball joined Bennett. And Bennett and Ball, they waved a very, proper, you know, proper Premadasa kind of a track partnership where you will have to take mostly you will have to go by singles and doubles. You will have to, tick the scoreboard on, and you will have to, you cannot rely much on boundaries because the boundaries are very long. You cannot hit sixes very frequently, which you can hit. And also the ball is not coming to your bat very, it's not that of a very comfortable track to bat. So spinners will get help. So the ball will hold on. So Australia has quality spinners. They have Zampa, they have Kuhneman. So also Maxwell came up with his spin. Stoinis has got slowers. Green has got slowers. So they have Nathan Ellis. They played Nathan Ellis today. Nathan Ellis is also a very decent T20 bowler with all his variations and everything. So I think Zimbabwe posted the score that Zimbabwe posted 169. I think that is a very decent score on a Premadasa type of a ground, because it's not easy to score runs, and you cannot uh, score very freely in a pitch like this, or in a ground on a ground like this, because your square boundaries are also, we discussed this yesterday also when we were discussing what would be happen, how should India plan. We were discussing exactly this, that the square boundaries are very long. So that's why uh, when you are trying to hit any spin bowler over the cow corner, which can be done on the shorter grounds. Here it is a little bit risky, because you have all the chances of getting caught at deep. So that's why that was not a very frequent case today. So what happened in Australia, when Australia came to bat, when they wanted to chase down, I think the opening, whatever was done by Blessing Muzarabani and Brad Evans, these two bowlers, they just, tore their first four. I think the first four wickets went for 26 to 29. I think something of this, 28 for four, I think Australia was at one point, and they lost English. Marsh didn't play even today. They lost English. They lost Head. They lost Green, and also they lost who was the fourth batsman who got out during that phase.
The four wickets were
They got Head. They got English.
uh,
They got Green,
uh,
and I think.
the other is one second.
Can you just see the scorecard? Why I
Yeah,
am
yeah,
forgetting the
yeah.
fourth? Why I am
I'm
forgetting the
also
fourth name?
looking at.
I'm not like, what has happened
Yeah,
to
yeah,
our memories? Yeah. So yeah. So four wickets were
yeah.
down.
And Team David.
Team David. Oh yeah. So see the big four.
That was a big wicket. That
Big
was
wicket,
a
big
big,
wicket,
big,
big.
big.
Yeah. So Team David and Team David and Green were taken by Muzarabani, and English and Head were taken by Evans. So these two actually kind of wreaked havoc in the first power play. So the power play absolutely went south for Australia. So they had to, somehow they had to manage. And after that, when Maxwell came, and Renshaw and Maxwell, when these two started building the partnership, the problem was they already lost four wickets. And on grounds like this, where you cannot score very freely, you need some quick runs, because when your asking rate is going higher every over, because you are building a partnership, right? And you are chasing. When you are chasing and you are building a partnership, you cannot score 15, 16 runs at your will. So there was no release overs. So almost no release overs came from Zimbabwe bowlers. You know they did not uh, keep anything loose. They kept everything so tight that there was almost no release overs from Australia's batsmen, especially when these two were building partnerships, Renshaw and Maxwell. And what happens is, once a wicket falls, and once that partnership gets broken, then what happens is, then you cannot manage it anymore, because you have lost wickets. You have, skyrocketed asking rate, and then once the partnership was broken, and again Muzarabani came back. I am absolutely, you know, hell impressed with this one guy, Blessing Muzarabani. He was man of the match
Mm.
today. He took four wickets for 17 runs, and what he showed today, I think it was magical. And both his power play and his finishing spell were, kind of, they both were extremely, extremely deadly so far as Australia was concerned. Australia had no answers to Muzarabani and Brad Evans. And I think once that partnership was broken, Maxwell's partnership was broken, I think it was too much for Renshaw, too much of an ask for Renshaw, because Stoinis got injured while bowling. He was also not, at the best of his strength. Stoinis also got out very soon. And I think once Renshaw's wicket fell, I think it was just the tail then, and they also got wrapped up very soon. I think it's a huge victory for Zimbabwe, and what it means for, as you were mentioning, what it means, it has opened the group, uh, you know, now very, it is now almost we can say that anything can happen with the group, because at one place we can see Sri Lanka in a very safer, on a very safer
Mm.
space. We can see that Zimbabwe and Australia now will be competing. So if Zimbabwe manages to win against Sri Lanka, then Sri Lanka versus Australia becomes a, knockout game. So I don't know. So kind of a very very critical space. I think Zimbabwe. I think they will defeat Ireland at this level. Now, if Sri Lanka beats Zimbabwe and Australia beats Sri Lanka, then again there will be a net run rate race. So and in net run rate also we can see that Zimbabwe is doing well. So Zimbabwe is right now the second team, and I think the kind of status that we can see right now, I think we should not be surprised if anything can happen in this group. Yes.
Yeah, and I think this is not an upset in that sense because Zimbabwe actually outplayed Australia in almost all the departments, and we could sense that when the first wicket fell,
Mm,
and after that that first wicket, I think there was a belief in Zimbabwe's camp that we can get them, we can get Australia right here, because after that crack appeared, the pressure started building, and then the middle order could not adjust to that pressure. And I think the pitch also got a little slower.
mm,
Means even in Zimbabwe's innings, you could see that there were middle over phases where the
mm,
Zimbabwe batters were also struggling, and that's because the pitch was getting a bit worse than what we started with. I also think Australia under pressure is not performing well nowadays, which is surprising to see because they generally do well under
mm,
pressure, but nowadays
mm,
they somehow looking rushed. Their shot selections are not that great. They're playing cross-batted shots.
mm,
They are not sticking to their strengths, which
mm,
is an important point. I think that will create a
mm,
lot of problems for them in upcoming matches.
mm,
Zimbabwe's bowlers were outstanding, as you mentioned.
mm, mm,
They
mm,
hit the seam. They used all the variations, cutters. They changed pace intelligently, and the fielding, the way they had attacking fielding, and that was really great to see. So I think this wasn't luck. This was
no, no, no.
pure execution, and
Pure
they
execution.
they they won the match on merit. And I think this is a start of something great for Zimbabwe in this tournament. And we
Absolutely.
discussed in our earlier videos also that these teams, these are not just fillers. These are not just here to have a sizable number of teams for the tournament, but they are competing. They are also saying, we are here,
Mm,
notice us. So that's what they're saying. And we could see that shift. We could see that all these teams are better prepared. They have skilled players, and above all they have the spirit fighting spirit, which is I'm seeing lacking in some bigger teams like
mm,
Australia and England, which is very unlike of them. And that was surprising for me. Not so surprising because we are seeing that pattern now, but this will continue in this tournament, and we will see some, at least one of these emerging cricketing nations in Super 8. There is all possibility
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
having
Absolutely.
one of
Absolutely.
one of these teams in Super 8.
Another
Let's
thing
let's talk about, yeah, yeah.
Another thing which I noticed about Australia is, first and foremost, they are losing out on Hazelwood a lot, because Hazelwood was their prime, prime backbone of bowling lineup, because once you miss out on some strike bowlers, then what happens is you cannot pick wickets. So what happened today is what we could clearly see, that only 2 wickets fell in the entire Zimbabwe innings. So when you
Mm,
cannot pick wickets, and so basically what was happening, Zimbabwe was maintaining a very decent run rate. They did not rush for big shots. They played so intelligently. That's what I am mentioning, that the way they batted, we have seen how well they bowled, how well they batted at
mm,
in a slow track. Now they have shown a
mm,
way that, if you just play sensibly, you can score runs here, but you cannot just go all guns blazing and everything. You should keep in mind one thing, that you cannot lose wickets. Now Australia could have managed the chase only if they not lost those 4 wickets in the beginning. So they were, what we could see, that Australia was short of wickets only. So exactly where Zimbabwe actually tackled the Australian bowling, exactly where Australian batting faltered, where they could not, you know, uh, keep wickets in their hands. So recipe to play on Premadasa ground is keep wickets in your hand. You cannot just
mm.
you cannot just say that I have a very long batting lineup, so I will manage. So let's play our natural game and let's go all guns blazing. So things can't happen here like that. Here, if you keep wickets in your hand in the later stage, you can skyrocket the run rate, and you can end up you know kind of 25, 30 runs higher than what was estimated. But if you bat first here, then definitely you should play very sensibly. Even if you are batting second here, you should play very sensibly. If you need to know how to keep my wickets.
Another thing, what I'm seeing in most of these interesting and really brilliant matches is the kind of body language that these teams have. Okay, I think body language matters. Today, Zimbabwe's body language said, "We belong here. You
Absolutely,
can't take
absolutely.
us for granted." Look at their fielding intensity and the every dot balls. The all the players shared all the dot balls, and they could not let Australia out of that situation. They tried to rebuild, but the kind of pressure that Zimbabwe put at that point of time, they did not panic, and the kind of
No,
pressure
no,
that
no.
they put on, that was commendable, and that's
Commendable.
because of the intensity, that's because of the body language and the fighting spirit that they have shown. So now what interesting aspect we are seeing in this tournament is your fighting spirit, your intensity, and your body language can defeat skilled group of individuals. Obviously these teams have skilled players. There's no doubt on that. But on top of skill sets, you also need the right kind of body language, a fighting spirit, and intensity, which I'm seeing a bit lacking in teams like Australia and England. I might be completely wrong here, but I'm seeing signs of that in these two teams, and they have to somehow regroup and think about the kind of intensity they should have on field, which is needed. And if they can't show that, also if they can't perform under pressure, T20 cricket is not for them then. Because T20 cricket has progressed from being just an entertainment cricket to something very serious. And we are seeing that on field in these matches. Teams are coming with the kind of innovation last day. Namibia showed,
Mhm.
that was really interesting to see, because
Mm.
that means these teams are coming prepared. They are
Mm.
doing their homework. All these results are not flukes. They are actually performing really well on field,
Absolutely. So
and off field. Their off field preparation,
yes, yes,
that's
yes.
really commendable.
So I am just what I have observed, a pattern that I have observed, and just let me just share that with you. So one side, you will be able to see these teams who are associate teams, and who are the emerging teams, and also the teams which are who are a little bit low ranked, in the ranking tables. Say for West Indies or teams like Zimbabwe, Namibia, uh, yeah, USA, Nepal, you will see that there will be extremely good bowling efforts, some brilliant bowling efforts. You will be able to see. Just like last night, I was extremely impressed with Erasmus's bowling and the
Mm.
death bowling that the consistent hitting Yorkers. Every commentator was wondering that we keep on finding bowlers who can place, perfect Yorkers in our teams. But here we can see that bowlers are consistently they are hitting those right lines due to which India could not score much in the death overs. So just like that, today also Muzarabani hit what a Yorker that was, which he the Yorker, I think he dismissed Ellis with that Yorker. I think which was a perfect Yorker which landed on the leg stump, and that's a dream ball for any bowler. Now, and also you mentioned fielding, that one catch that was taken to dismiss to Ashwin. That was a proof that
Yeah.
how well prepared they came in terms of fielding also there. So where associate teams generally falter is their batting, number one, because overall batting, keeping the pressure, keeping the nerve, that is not something they do very regularly because they are not regular players of international cricket. That pressure sometimes get control over them. That's why they lose.
Mm.
And secondly, they miss out a few catches. So sometimes that also happens because of their uh, they cannot keep themselves intact so far as their concentration is concerned. So that's why what I have observed is otherwise their bowling. Some of the bowlers who have really impressed you this time are all from associate nations. Take any name. Muzarabani, Zimbabwe. Though Zimbabwe is a test playing nations, but like low ranked nations. Muzarabani, Zimbabwe, Van Shockwick from USA, Erasmus from Namibia, who else? Like take any name and like you can find, very Leask from Scotland. So you will be finding so many bowlers who are performing so well. They are belonging to these emerging teams. So another point which I have seen that is, you know, uh, because of because of their lack of international opening, because of their lack of international, what ICC can do from now on is they can arrange more bilateral series between between these high ranked nations versus the low ranked nations, so that
Mm.
their overall the cricket now gets improved. Now think
Mm.
about if these players get more exposure tomorrow, you know just just think how this entire tournament will be, how exciting this tournament will be. So, and also I want to see some of the players in IPL also, some of these players
Yeah, yeah.
who really
They deserve places in top IPL teams. They're really
absolutely.
performing well. Erasmus is not also in any of the IPL teams,
No,
or he is. He
no.
should be in one of the IPL teams for sure.
Erasmus
And
sh-
in today's match also from
Erasmus
Zimbabwe,
Erasmus should be. Muzarabani is a must.
Muzaravani
Is a must.
must. Yeah,
Is a
yeah,
must.
yeah, for sure.
Van Shockwick is a must.
Hmm.
So at least these three bowlers whom I have found, they should enter any. Muzarabani has been in IPL teams. In 2024, he was a part of the KKR team.
KKR team. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
Muzarabani has been in IPL system, but uh, I'm I will be very excited to see him in IPL.
Okay, so let's move to the segment where we will discuss about the group dynamics now, how this result has changed the group dynamics. You touched upon that a bit, but let's zoom into that
Hmm.
because now net run rate matters more in qualification scenarios
Hmm.
because the qualification scenarios have become complicated.
Mm-hmm.
And what will happen now, every match will become high pressure
Mm.
matches. And most importantly, teams like Zimbabwe, they have announced that we are not here to just participate, right? We are here to compete and we are here to win. If they
Mm.
can topple teams like Australia, and almost they created a lot of problems for teams like South Africa and New Zealand, that means they mean business. And that's why we love cricket and we love this format, because this format makes everything so much entertaining and competitive, and high pressure matches and ups and downs and whatnot.
Mm.
Talk a bit about, and we will now quickly wrap this live session. But before that, let's talk quickly about how this has changed the group dynamics, and
Yeah.
what kind of permutations and combinations you are seeing in group dynamics, and in what will happen, the implication of that for upcoming matches.
Yeah, so Australia needs to win against Sri Lanka, period. So Australia cannot lose against Sri Lanka. If Australia loses against Sri Lanka, then no matter what happens, I don't think anything is going to change. Zimbabwe, I think, will defeat Ireland very easily. So I don't think their Zimbabwe would be facing any difficulty. What I think is once Zimbabwe also defeats Ireland, and if Australia can defeat Sri Lanka, then I think the massive game will be between Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe. But going by whatever I have seen today, and Australia, the way they performed in Pakistan also, again, since they are Australia, I'm still having some hopes that there might be a comeback. Otherwise, the way Sri Lanka is also playing, the way they defeated Oman the other day, I think Shanaka was brilliant with bat, Pawan was brilliant with bat. Their bowling, especially if you look at the bowling that Sri Lanka is having right now, all their surprise bowlers, Thikshana, Pathirana, uh, even if they are missing Hasaranga, their every other bowler is bowling very tightly right now, and it's very difficult to score on Sri Lankan pitch. So what I have seen about Australia is the problem with Australian batting is Australian batting has become very limited to only one type of ground. So they
Hmm.
can play, all the high intensity shots only where the grounds will be, flat, where the ball will come to the bat, there will be pace, there will be bounce, and there will be no such demands from the spinners. And if anywhere, the ball doesn't come to bat, then I think Australian batsmen, they find it extremely difficult to score runs. So every time I have seen that Australia has found it difficult. Somewhere or the other in Dubai's T20 World Cup, which happened in Dubai 2021, they could win because dew was coming into the picture in the later half, and also somewhere where they were chasing, they got some advantage from the dew. But in Sri Lanka, they are not getting that advantage also, even if they are playing in the day. And today was a day match, so there was no question of due. But again, since the pitch, actually, starts, holding a little bit once the game progresses, and it's not a very easy thing to bat second. Today they suffered a lot. So I don't know. There's another problem with Premadasa is it's a it becomes a very difficult pitch when you are batting second. And till now, whatever sample I have seen, I think it's a bat first pitch. So let's see.
Okay. So, all right. So that brings us to the end of this live. And if you have enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, share, and if you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to the channel. Share these videos to as many cricket fans you know. and obviously subscribe for more deep analysis. Tell us in the comments, is this Zimbabwe's greatest win in modern cricket? And
Yes.
can Australia bounce back? We will be live again when we will have matches like this. What a game, what a start to the day, and we can't keep calm. So with that note, I'm Chinmoy along with Sanlap. End this live session, and thank you so much for watching this live.